Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm, and in this video we're going to finish our Endless Runner video game. As a review, what we did last time was we created this game that allows our player to jump when we hit the spacebar. Now we want to build some enemies that will come in from this side of the screen and run toward your player at a random speed and random interval, right? So to do that, we need to create a container to hold all of our enemies. Let's call this obstacles. And the container that we're going to use is called an array, right? So let's create an obstacles array. And the way we do this is we set it equal to, and then we use these braces, okay? Now what we've just done is we've created a new way to store some data. A variable will store one piece of data, whereas an array will store a bunch of pieces of data as long as they're of the same type. So we're going to use this to store all of the obstacles that we've spawned in our game, just to make it a lot easier for us to keep track of them. Okay. Now we want a function that's going to create new obstacles whenever we need them to. So let's define a new function. We'll call it create obstacle. Okay. Perfect. And inside this function, we're going to create a new obstacle. We'll call it O. So O equals turtle.turtle. Okay, let's set its shape to square. You can change the shape to whatever you'd like. Let's change its color to red. You can use whatever color you'd like. Probably not green though, because we're already using that for the grass. O.pen up. Let's pick up our pen so that we can put it where we want it to go. Okay, and let's set it to O.goto. We'll go to the extreme right side of the screen, so 400, and we'll go to the same level or the same Y value as our player. So we'll say -50. Okay, beautiful. Now what we want to do is we want to change the direction on the X for our O. So let's say O.dx. Meaning the direction that it's traveling on the x-axis. And we're going to set this equal to a random.randint, or a random integer. And we're going to pick a speed between, let's say, -8 and -4. So it's going to pick a speed between -8 and -4. We're going negative because we want it to go to the left. And we want it to be a decent range, but not so wild that it's going to cause some problems, right? The last thing we want to do is we want to append this thing to the end of our obstacles array. Append just means add to the end. So obstacles.append, and we want to append O. Perfect. So now we have a function that can create new obstacles and add them to the array that's holding on to our obstacles. Okay. Next thing is, let's go down here to our game loop. And actually, yeah, we can do that down here. Let's do that down here. So we need two new variables. One, we need a time since the last obstacle was spawned, and we need a delay to tell us how long to wait until we spawn the next obstacle. Okay, so we'll call the first variable last obs time, and we're going to set it equal to time.time. Basically set it to right now, like literally right now, like right now. Okay, that's what time.time means. And we'll set the next spawn delay equal to random.uniform, and it's going to be 1.0 to 3.0. What that's doing is it's another random function that we can use to pick a time between those two things, right? And you're thinking, well, the only thing between 1 and 3 is 2, but that's not true. Notice that these are decimal numbers, which means there's an infinite number of numbers between 1 and 3, right? Okay, so we have those variables in there. Now what do we need to do? Well, we need to actually start spawning our enemies. And we're going to do that after we've set our movement for our player. First thing we need to do is check to see if the current time minus the last time we spawned something is greater than our spawn delay. Basically saying, okay, when's the last time we spawned something? What time is it now? Okay, is that difference bigger than the delay that I created? If it is, then we need to spawn a new enemy. Okay, so this is what that looks like. If time.time, meaning right now, minus last OBS time is greater than next spawn delay, then we want to create an obstacle. Okay, we basically want to call that function to create a new obstacle. So we're going to spawn a new obstacle whenever our timer runs out, essentially. Okay, now we want to set our last OBS time to right now, time.time, because now is the time that we've just spawned our our latest enemy. And we also want to reset we want to set a new next spawn delay. And we're going to actually use the same line of code right here. So we're going to set a new next spawn delay with a random time, and then it's going to just happen again. Okay, easy enough. Now we want to create a for loop. For loops are great for looping through an entire array. And that for loop is going to allow us to pick every obstacle that's in our obstacles array and tell it to do something. In this example, we want it to start moving to the left. Okay, so we're going to say for OBS in obstacles, meaning for every obstacle in the obstacles array. And yes, that's a colon and then another colon. Make sure you're including both colons. We're going to say obs.setX, basically tell it to move, obs.xcore plus obs.dx, so the direction on the x. So this line of code right here is telling it to move move left on the x. Let's run it and see if we actually get some enemies to spawn. Oh, we've got an issue here. OBX not defined. Right, because it's not OBX, it's OBS. See, even I make typos. All right, let's run it again. Ah, there we go. We've got enemies coming in. Ooh, look how some of them are coming faster. Some of them are coming slower. All right, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Good, good, good. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yep, we've got a fast one coming in. That's going to make the game really fun. And I can practice trying to jump over them. Okay. This is going to be cool. Right now, currently, there's no way for our game to detect if we're touching the enemy. So let's actually write that now. Let's do that inside the for loop, actually. We'll say if ABS, meaning the absolute value of player.x coordinate, meaning where the player is on the x, minus OBS, meaning the current object, x coordinate. If the absolute value of that that difference is less than 20, meaning they're actually touching, so that the player's x value and the OBS x value, if that difference is less than 20, and the ABS of the player.y coordinate minus the OBS.y coordinate is less than 20. So if our x coordinate and our y coordinate difference is less than 20, that means we're touching. So if that happens, all we need to do is say game over. Oh, where'd my cursor go? Game over equals true. Okay, that's it. That's how we check to see if we're colliding with the thing that we are looking for. Okay, perfect. Now the last thing we want to do is we want to destroy these enemies once they leave the screen, because we don't want them just kind of hanging out in our game space. They'll be off the screen. There's no reason for them to still be there. So let's destroy them when they leave the screen. So we'll say if obs.x coordinate is less than -400, then obstacles.remove OBS. So remove it from the array, and then obs.hide turtle. Basically get rid of the turtle. Okay, that's the whole project. Let's go ahead and run it and see if this works. Okay, so we're spawning an enemy. Let's get hit by the enemy first and see if that works. Yep, now my game's done. Notice everything's frozen. All right, now let's actually try to play. Let's see how far I can get before I die. Notice that that guy's coming in faster than he was last time, which means our randomness is working. Okay, good. I'm jumping. I'm jumping. All right. Oh, this is going to be a tricky one. Oh, I made it. Oh my. Oh, I didn't get very far. Anyway, so now our game is actually working. It's functioning. Okay. I'm sure you can think of other ways you would probably want to improve this project, but for now, this is a pretty good start. So get your game running and then play it. See how far you can get. Yeah, this is a pretty fun project. Next time, we're going to take this same concept and add more to it. All right. Cool. Thanks for paying attention, and I'll see you in the next project. Bye.